Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about free and low-cost resources for learning medical billing and coding. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Okay, guys. So, if you are interested in learning medical billing and coding, I have great news for you. You do not have to go to an expensive program. You do not have to take a student loan. You do not have to do all these things and pay out all this money to learn this field, okay? So I will start off by saying that I do have the Independent Study Syllabus, the paid version, and to order it is in the description box below. I will say about this Independent Study Syllabus, it is very comprehensive. I added way more things to it than I had with the original. But with this, you get the study syllabus and it's broken down by weeks. So it'll take you roughly about a year to get through it if you are spending 20 hours per week with your studies. That is what is going to require in order to finish it, okay? Because if you are half-heartedly putting in the time, you're never gonna learn. It's gonna take you a lot more tries with your exam if you're not putting in the time. Okay, so I'm just being very real with you there. So if you're interested in ordering it, it's in the description box below. You get the syllabus with all the subjects broken down by time. And I have noted on there like which certification covers on that particular subject, okay? There's also the recommended book list. Now, you do not have to get all of the books that I have listed there, but there are some of the workbooks that you do have to get in order for it to make sense. But if there's other ones that you have your choice on, like medical terminology and anatomy and stuff, you can get, whatever workbook that you want. And no, you do not have to get medical terminology for medical coders because that's just a gimmick. It's a sales gimmick. And the reason that I say that is because no doctor is going to say, well, I'm only going to use this medical term because this is what medical coders know. No, they're going to use their terminology, and it's up to us to be able to figure that out. Okay, I'm just saying. And then you also, with all of this, you get a list of lots and lots and lots of web links to help supplement your learning as well. So you do get a break in between your book learning and all the other stuff that you're doing. You do get those web links to kind of help you and to supplement. And like I said, I've broken the web links down for the particular exam that you want to take. So this syllabus can prepare you for the CCS, the CCA, the CCSP. These are all with the American Health Information Management Association, or the CPC, okay? The American Academy of Professional Coders. It can prepare you, but you just got to be disciplined, okay? And like I said, it is literally a fraction of the cost that it would take for you to go to a school, okay? And if you say, well, Blue, no, I need a teacher to help me. Well, there's ways around that too. So if you feel like you need a teacher to help you, and you go the Independent Study Syllabus route, because like you say, you want to do this, but you can't really afford the school that's $20,000 or $30,000, $40,000, which is ridiculous, but you can't afford it. So you say, well, okay, well, I'll do the Independent Study Syllabus, for example, okay? And then you say, well, I need somebody to help me to learn this. You can hire a tutor. So for however you want to set that up, okay? I'm not trying to sell for me, okay? Even though I do tutoring, there's tons of other tutors out there that can help you as well. We all have different prices based on our experience, based on the things that we know and how we structure our sessions. But tutoring is for the tutor to explain things to you. It is not where the tutor assigns you homework and then you turn it in and then you talk about, no. Tutoring is you have a question, you come to the tutor explains it, and then, helps you out. That's what they're doing, okay? So that's what a tutor does, all right? But you can do that. You can go with the Independent Study Syllabus, put in your time, work through your workbooks, get through all of the stuff to lay that good foundation. And then once you start getting into that coding, that's when you can get a tutor. And like I said, it doesn't have to be me. You can go on LinkedIn. There's tons of tutors on LinkedIn, okay, for medical coding. So plenty of room at the table for all of us to eat. So I don't care. Like I said, I'll tell other people there's other people out there, but don't ask me to recommend anybody else because no, I'm not doing that. So with that said, so there's that. That's what you get with the Independent Study Syllabus, all right? But like I said, if you want to get a tutor to supplement your learning, that's going to be great for you. And again, that saves you money, because think about all the $1,500 or $40,000 you would have spent on a program, and you're only going to spend a fraction of that because you're putting in the work and you're getting somebody who is knowledgeable, who can help you. Or you can find a mentor. A mentor will help you for free. Okay, so, but like I said, that's just an option out there. So some of the places where you can go to get free resources, obviously the very first place you need to look is YouTube. YouTube has a ton of channels that cover anatomy, medical terminology, and pathophysiology, which is great. Crash Course is my favorite. With the coding side, okay, there's justcoding.com. Okay, I'm not going to leave the link because I want y'all to learn to do your research, and I'm saying it to you right now. Okay, you can write this stuff down. I don't have to leave it there. Okay, justcoding.com. If you go to the justcoding.com landing page, before it used to be that they had a free membership and they had a paid membership. Now, if you click on like subscribe, it'll take you over to the HC Pro landing page, and it'll have you like talk about like which package you want. So this is where it's a free version, okay? So you're not going to click on subscribe. You're going to go to the landing page and you're going to scroll down until you see free quizzes. When you see free quizzes, you click on that. It's when you scroll down, don't go to the one at the top, okay? You go to the one, it's in red, and you scroll down and you click on it. And when you click on it, come on, then it's going to get you to put in like your email address and things like that, so you can sign up for all of those things, but it's going to be the free version, okay? And so if you want to have access to all the other stuff, then that's when you go to the HC Pro landing page. But you can still access the free quizzes without having to go through all that. But like I said, they're going to send you like newsletters and things like that. But you still get access to 5 question coding quizzes that cover ICD-10-CM, ICD-10 PCS, and CPT, which is a fantastic resource. And for those of you that want to get smart, because there's always somebody that writes me real smart, oh, those are so easy. These are 5 question multiple choice quizzes. If you're looking at the answers, it will be easy, right? Because after a while, when you've been practicing studying coding, well, then you kind of ballpark where you got to be at. But here's the trick, and this is the hack, and this is how you learn, and this is how you start to develop yourself as a coder. You cover up those multiple choice answers. You look at the question, and then you look it up in your book. And then when you find the answer, then you can see, okay, did I get it right or not? Is this part of the choices? And then that's how you can kind of discover, am I in the right ballpark? Am I learning enough? Am I grasping it enough? But I think that that's a fantastic thing that Just Coding does. And like I said, I always promote that because this is fantastic. It's wonderful. I love that, that this company is out there and they're doing these wonderful things. I love HC Pro. I mean, just in general, I just love HC Pro anyway. But again, with that said, those questions are there. And so they're broken down by subject. Like this one is ICD-10-CM coding for lung diseases due to external agents. So it's giving you really good practice. And then, oh, I want to sneeze so bad. ICD-10-CM coding for viral infections characterized by skin and mucous membrane lesions. Pretty good, right? So ICD-10 PCS coding for insertion of subcutaneous tissue and fascia. And so it goes on and on. There's a bunch of these. They post them all the time, okay? So that's a great resource. You can just type it in, justcoding.com, and follow what I just said just a couple minutes ago, okay? So that's how you can get signed up for that. Then there is the Medicare Learning Network. Now, a lot of people will think, well, Medicare, that's all billing and stuff like that. Okay, but they do have free resources for coders on there. And so if you're learning coding, if you're learning billing, this is the one-stop shop. This is where you need to go to start your studies as well when you're getting into the coding portion of it all, right? And so, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm back. Okay. So when you're going through and you're practicing and you're doing all these things and you're getting ready, right, to learn all of this stuff, when you're going through the Medicare Learning Network, The Medicare Learning Network is going to cover a lot of your billing questions, a lot of your coding questions as well. There are lots and lots of resources. So when you Google Medicare Learning Network, you're going to see MLN pop up, right? And then when you get to that landing page, you're going to see publications and multimedia, and you're going to see there's that link there. So you click on that link, and when you click on that link, there's lots of free booklets that are there. And that's how you can start reading and learning. Guys, the biggest thing about this field is reading. If you don't like to read, or if reading is just too much for you, this career field will probably not be for you. And I'm just being straight and honest with you on that one, because of the simple fact that there's a lot of people that are under the mistaken impression that coders just pass through paperwork. And the electronic health record does it. No, the electronic health record doesn't just do it. And a lot of times it's wrong. Why? Because it's AI. And AI is stupid. You know why I say AI is stupid? Because it doesn't have the ability to critical think. Because I've seen AI confuse fall like the injury and fall like the season. So with that said, as long as coders sharpen their knowledge, and we don't try to sit here and rely solely on AI, and we continue to develop, we're going to be okay. It's like I tell y'all, stay off of TikTok, because y'all think it's a game, and y'all think I'm being funny and cute when I say about TikTok. Let me tell you something about TikTok. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just innocent. It's little 10-second, 15-second clips. Okay, so you're sitting there scrolling, and that 10, 15 seconds turns into 3 or 4 hours later, right? You've been on TikTok, absorbing all of this information, which some of it, a lot of it, 95% of it probably is some version or some screwed up version of the truth. Not even the truth. Or it's messed up, or it's AI, or something. There's always something going on with it. But let's think about this. If you are sitting there for hours and hours and hours scrolling, getting that instant hit of dopamine, because your brain is not allowed to get that beginning, the middle, and the end. You're just getting the instant hit of dopamine of like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Okay, so when you get that, then you are more willing to take what is put in front of you without critical thinking. We need to critical think. So when I'm telling you, here's some free resources to help you, you need to be taking advantage of these free resources. And even if you're in a paid program, you say, well, Blue, I found you too late. I wish I would have found you before. You can still use the free resources that I'm talking about today to supplement your learning. Okay? Because a lot of times these programs too, they have old information. They have a teacher who don't want to teach you, or a teacher that is bound to only teach you based on the book because of the restrictions in the school. So like I'm telling you guys, this is why we have to read. This is why we have to learn, and take advantage of those publications and multimedia that's on the Medicare Learning Network, because it's going to help you. And if you get frustrated with having to read so much, you know, there's things that you can do to listen, and listening does help. But just know this, guys, if you're listening to something, you're getting about 10% if you're not paying attention. And a lot of times our minds start to wander, okay? It even happens to me sometimes. If I'm in something too long, my mind will start to wander too. So I'm not above being distracted, but at the same time, you have to understand that when you're looking at these things, that's why I'm telling you 30 minutes at a time or 1 hour at a time. That's going to be fantastic for you. So if you're going to be reading these but listening to them, like you know how to listen to them. I also have the audio instructions. If you want to listen to something, you can contact me below in order to order the listening instructions, but it's very easy. And again, I've talked about this before on the channel, how to listen to things, and then people were ungrateful and being rude. So that's why I said, okay, well now I have to sell it then. You know, but it's only $5. It's whatever, you know. But what I'm saying is this, guys. We have the tools out there in order for us to listen to things to make it easier for ourselves, right? We can sit there and we can read. And if you say to me, well, Blue, I'm a slow reader, I don't know. we all start off as slow readers. All of us. I started off as a slow reader, and sometimes I still think I read very slow. But what it is that you're just taking in all of the information, and this is something that is new, okay? Once you have spent time reading, you're going to build up speed. You will build up speed. And that's what you can do to start learning these things too, okay? Because you're going to have that speed with reading when you go to take your test. When you go to take your test, it's if you're taking a HEMA exam, it's roughly a little over 2 minutes per question, like maybe 2 minutes 10 seconds per question on average. But with AAPC, it's 2 minutes 40 seconds per question. And you may be thinking, that's not long, 2 minutes 40 seconds per question, or like, why is there such a big difference? It depends, okay? It depends on your speed, and it depends on a lot of other factors, and especially if you've been studying or not. But the reason that I say that, because I take the number of minutes versus that you have to complete the exam versus the number of questions. So that's how I come up with that number. But you're not going to spend 2 minutes 40 seconds on every question, or 2 minutes 10 seconds on every question with the AHEMA exam versus AAPC exam. Some you're going to get through faster, some you're going to get through a little bit longer. It just really depends. But this is where your training helps. If you have been reading and working through your workbooks and working through your coding manuals, that's what's going to help you with your speed. Okay? And yes, that is a free tip because reading fast is a skill, but it's a skill you're going to build doing these things. Okay? So we're going to stop by the public library. We're going to check out and see what they have. Talk to the librarian. And trust me, a lot of librarians are delighted to help you. A few years ago, when we were in the old hospital, right? I love the librarian. He is so freaking awesome. So I went in there. He knew he had never seen me in there before. And he was just like, hello, can I help you? And because I'm looking at these shelves, right? And I wanted a book on the heart, because at the time I was working on the inpatient side of the house, and I'm getting really confused a lot with the heart stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm a book person more than I am like a video person, you know? I didn't want that. I wanted something that I could look at and sit and work with. So I was asking him, I was like, well, I'm looking for your cardio books. And he said, sure, no problem. And so he sees my badge. He knows I work there. And then he goes, I've never seen you in here before. And I said, well, I didn't know that I'm still new, okay? And at the time, I was still relatively new. I think I was there for maybe 3 or 4 months at the time. No, it had to have been a little bit longer than, no, 6 months. 6 months was when I went there. And he goes, well, welcome. And I was like, well, you know, and he said, what do you do? I said, I'm a coder. And then he goes, really? And then I said, yeah. So he's all excited about me being a coder. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, whatever, you know. And so he brings me over to the books that I'm looking for. And I'm like, and so I'm excited. And of course he gets excited, you know, because he goes, we don't have people coming in here to check out books. And I'm like, well, I can, right? He goes, oh yeah, no problem. He goes, unless a doctor needs it. He goes, but they don't come in here for these books. And then he goes, so I think you'll be fine. So I was like, okay. He goes, well, while you're here. And I'm like, well, you know, what's up? And then he goes, I need to order new books. He goes, and I need to order coding books, but I don't know which ones to order. I said, really? So we had a delightful time, you know, checking out books and things like that. So he purchased a lot of the books that I was suggesting. And so that's, again, you may not run into somebody like that guy, but you may run into somebody that, oh yeah, we have books about that. Let's go ahead and take you over there and show you what we have. And then they'll remember, sometimes these librarians, they'll remember and they'll be like, oh, and they'll call you up. Hey, we have a book about this and we have a book about that. And then you can go over there. We need to use the public resources that our tax dollars pay for. Hello. It's not everything is about a stupid app either, okay? For my people who always write me and tell me, oh, what about an app? I'm not an app person. I'm not. I'm a book person. You see these books back here? This is just not even a fraction of them. I've got tons of books. I love books, okay? Books never let you down. Books never let you down. They don't have to be rebooted. They don't have to be refresh the screen. The screen doesn't time out on you and you have to go right back in and look at it. No, it doesn't do any of that. I can open the book and I can close the book. Okay, so, but yes, the public library. That's the very best place you can go. And you ask them about their billing books, you ask them about their coding books. Now, if they're showing you like ICD-10-CM manuals that are like years old, like a 22, that's not what you want to learn from. However, if you have a current year book, let's just say you got an AAPC book, right? You have an AAPC ICD-10-CM book. And then you go and you are looking at a 2022 book from the public library, ICD-10-CM book, and it happens to be an Optum coding, physicians, expert for physicians, Optum ICD-10-CM expert for physicians. Somebody's calling me, so I'm getting distracted again. But you happen to find that at the public library, get it. Why? Because at the beginning of every chapter in that Optum ICD-10-CM expert for physicians book, even the expert for hospitals, it's got coding scenarios before every single chapter. All you want to do is look at the questions, and a lot of them, yes, they will have the answers on them, but even if some of those codes have been updated since 2022, guess what? You have the current book, and you're going to know that that's a deleted code. But the point is to get that practice. It's like a whole new workbook to you, right? Because before every single chapter, there's anywhere between 10 and sometimes 15 of those questions and scenarios on how to break down the codes and things like that. So that's another free resource you can find at the public library, even if that book is a few years old. The Optum ICD-10-CM expert for physicians, or expert for hospital, the hospital's version, expert for hospitals, but the hospital's version. You're going to see those scenarios at the front of the book, okay, or at the front of the chapters, okay? So that's just something that you can do, guys. That's another free resource out there that can help get you practice with the book, okay? So with that said, those are some of the best free resources that you can find, okay? And then for the specialty side of the house, right? For the specialty side of the house, if you're looking at, oh, I don't understand about the heart, you are going to go to the American Heart Association. The American Heart Association has sections where they're talking about heart conditions. That is the best way for you to understand the terminology and the language of anything going on with the heart. It's the same thing with the lungs. You go to the American Lung Association, you're going to see articles and sections about the anatomy of the lungs and all these procedures that are done on the lungs. So again, that's going to help you with your transition to learning about coding. And these are free resources that are out there, y'all. Free resources, okay? The New England Journal of Medicine, nejm.org. Okay, I ordered this magazine. However, they do have free articles that you can have access to when you sign up. Okay, when you sign up, and you're just, it's the free version. You don't have to buy the magazine, but you can look at their website and you can read the free articles. You can look at all the things that they have on there. And even though it's not coding, it is the language. It is getting you that exposure. So again, that's a free resource, nejm.org. Okay, it's fantastic place to learn, okay, because I love to read it, okay? And even though a lot of those words go over my head too, trust me, it has helped me a lot to learn about the conditions, and it makes the documentation make much more sense, okay? So these are, again, free resources out there that are meant to help you. You don't want to do them, that's fine. It's too much for you, okay, go find less somewhere else then. I want people to learn. I want people to learn, all right? And it's very important to me because, again, you all are the next generation of medical coders. You need to know. And with AI trying to threaten us all the time, no. You're not going to beat my brain. I don't think so. Because I can critical think. I'm just saying. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Google these things. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.